Hey everybody, today we've got some really exciting things to talk about. This segment is all about grains, and Chad is going to teach me and you some really cool things that you can do with grains.
So, first is you want to emphasize whole as much as possible. Whole grains is really important. White rice is not a whole grain, okay? White flour is not a whole grain, all right? A whole grain is the entire germ, the endosperm, and the bran. That's typically wheat berry. But there's about 19 grains of the world, okay? We're gonna work with a couple here. So we have some brown rice here, basmati brown rice. Wild rice is one of my favorites. You can get short grain or long grain. The traditional sort of Minnesota hand harvested wild rice is the real long wild rice. Is delicious, and it's actually a seed.
Yeah.
So you want to soak them. Whenever I use wild rice, I'll soak them before I cook it. So it brings out the nuttiness in it too. So you don't have to soak all grains, but
If you do soak them, do you soak them for overnight?
I'll soak them a couple hours
Okay.
before. So I'll come home from work, or before I go to work, I'll soak them. So and all that does is really speed up the process with cooking. So.
And all the grains that we're going to make today are all gluten-free. So if you have gluten issues, or if you're checking it out and kind of getting away from gluten, these recipes are great for you.
Okay, so we're going to start off with, let's cook some quinoa. Now quinoa, it's an Incan grain, black quinoa, red quinoa. This is a typical white quinoa here, and it's actually a complete protein,
Yes,
right?
loaded with protein.
And it's one of the highest, quinoa and millet are one of the highest alkaline grains as
Yep.
well. So I really love incorporating this. And for those of you who haven't tried quinoa, it's like really,
Nutty.
how would you describe it?
Nutty,
Real nutty
yeah.
and very light. It's very different from rice, is a little bit heavier, but quinoa is real nice and light. So we're gonna make a nice quinoa salad out of this.
Brian always calls quinoa bachelor food because it takes no time to make. It's one of the easiest grains to prepare.
Oh, it definitely is. What I like to do is, okay, so I starting with a warm pan. I like to toast it a little bit. I toast millet too. I wouldn't toast rice. I'm gonna add some garlic in there. I'm gonna thinly slice up some garlic. You can add ginger as well. I'm gonna slice that up nice and thin. Okay. I'm gonna add the garlic right into the quinoa. Okay. I'm gonna use vegetable stock. Now I want to emphasize flavor and really push flavor in everything I do, and that includes grains. So I'm gonna cook this in vegetable stock. So I'm gonna do about 1.5 times to 2 times the amount of liquid. Say about 1.5.
And that's low sodium vegetable stock,
Yes,
so you don't have to worry about
definitely. But as it actually cooks, you won't really need to add much salt to this actually when it's cooked. So I'm gonna let that cook, and then my magic oven over here.
that. Yay, magic oven.
All right. So look at that. Look at how fluffy that is.
Wow.
Perfect. So it actually turned red too. No, this is actually a red quinoa that I actually cooked here, and it's nice and fluffy. The garlic's in there. So let's make a little variation with this. So you have some quinoa. You can do this when it's warm or cold. Can you pass me a bowl, Kris?
Yes, sir.
So let's make a quinoa salad. This is a delicious, really simple salad. Just gonna add the quinoa in the bowl. Okay, let's go ahead and add a couple simple diced vegetables. So we have some cucumber. This is gonna be a nice, light, refreshing salad.
Highly alkalizing.
Some perfectly roasted
Red pepper?
red peppers that we just roasted earlier. I have some avocado that I diced up.
Nature's butter, we learned about that.
Love that. And then I also have a little bit of shallot. Okay, which is nice, like a nice little sweet onion. So we're gonna go ahead and.
He's so fast, it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time.
So we're gonna go ahead and slice up some shallot. It gives it a really nice sweetness as well. We're gonna add that. You can add red onion as well.
Onions and garlic are antimicrobial, antibacterial. They're fantastic for your immune system
And that adds so much flavor to the dish as well.
and your breath, right?
Yeah,
So you have to
exactly.
do it with
So
somebody
keep
you
the
love.
parsley around. Keep the parsley
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
Then I have some toasted pine nuts. Okay? When you toast the pine nuts, it brings out such nuttiness in them. It's really, really nice. And you dry toast them. So I'm gonna add a touch of olive oil. Okay? A little pinch of salt, not much. And then let's add some fresh herbs.
Fantastic.
Let's say parsley. That's a nice fresh
A
one
little
in there.
parsley.
A little parsley in there. Just coarsely chop that up.
Does it matter what kind of parsley that you choose? There's so many.
Doesn't matter. You can use flat leaf or curly,
Okay.
either one. Okay, then we have, let's say the lemon. Let's do a little bit of lemon. Before I use lemons, I like to roll them out, as I've mentioned. Okay, and that brings out all the juiciness.
That's such a
We
great
like
trick.
the juiciness, so.
Do you ever use organic bottled lemon if you're in a pinch?
Yeah, if you're in a pinch, it's
real
good to
quick.
have one around. It'll
Yeah.
keep in the fridge for a month.
I use that for kale salad if I'm really busy.
So, And then if you'd like to stir
I
that up.
would love to stir it up.
Okay. So this is such a nice salad, really beautiful. And it's just so colorful. You can throw this in a wrap as well, which is really nice. Put this on a bed of spinach, a piece of grilled tofu over it if you wish. Mix in some greens. Try
Always
and get
put
your
your greens in there. Yep.
And it's just a beautiful salad that we will be enjoying a little bit later.
Oh,
So-
look at that gorgeous. Isn't that so pretty? Wow. Okay, come put it over here.
All right, so let's actually make the millet now. All right. So what we're gonna start with is we're gonna add the millet to the pan. We're gonna toast that up. Okay.
Now, is this your sweet dish? Is this what
This
I got to
this is the
taste
yeah,
earlier?
This is a porridge that we're making. We're making a nice peach porridge. It's a nice little different application to a more savory that we typically use, and we're gonna cook it like we would oatmeal. So you're gonna toast it first, okay? And once it's toasted, I'm gonna add some coconut milk. I like to use a mixture because using some coconut milk straight up is gonna be a little too thick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like
some
to have
almond
some
milk?
almond milk in there as well. All right.
It is so good, and so many people say to me, like, what if my green juice isn't enough or a green smoothie isn't enough? Well, I got to taste this earlier. This is such a perfect thing for you to have in breakfast.
And my daughter loves this. This
It's
is
so
she
good.
loves milk. She doesn't eat cereals. She doesn't like crunchy cereal like we grew up on. She likes kasha, we call it. So we'll do buckwheat the same way. We'll do amaranth. We'll do quinoa. We'll do the same kind of sweet application. So we'll cook it in a little bit of milk. Now you can do half milk, half water as well. I'm gonna add some spices now. So I'm gonna add. You can use vanilla bean, or I'm just gonna throw in a little extract, whole cinnamon stick. Okay. And we're gonna put the lid on that. We're gonna let that bring it to a boil, lower it down to low, and let that simmer until it thickens up, and you'll know when it's done. So right when it's about to be finished, I'm gonna go ahead and add some diced peaches or nectarines. And I don't wanna put those in the beginning. If you're gonna add fruit, put it at right towards the very end, so it still keeps a little bit of texture in there. So,
And freshness and
Yep.
flavor.
so I have some that's already been done here, which is gorgeous.
It is outrageous. It is so
So it's just cooked in the coconut milk, and it's just a really nice, beautiful texture there. So we're gonna go ahead and serve that as if I were serving this to my little one.
good. And how old is your little one?
She is 5.
She's 5 and she loves this.
5 years of craziness.
Yay!
She's a cutie.
She's a crazy, silly kid.
She's a crazy, silly kid. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice up some fresh peach on there, some nectarine. And she loves stone fruits. And it's just a nice way to start the morning. A little different than oatmeal, and just mixes it up and adds a nice alkaline grain to your morning.
Awesome.
So
Thank you,
there
Chad.
you have it. Peach porridge.
Peach porridge.